Hey guys, this is Work in Progress and we're at episode 5. Not a bad number. Not a bad number. Number 5. Alright, and so today I have with me another, he's a familiar face, but he's new on this show. We call you Yapp. Is that what we all call you?
Yes, that's my name lah. That's my surname actually.
That's your surname.
Yeah.
If you've noticed, we don't really have anything on the table today because although it's called Work in Progress, today we're not going to be working.
Working on anything.
We're not going to be working on anything. We'll be doing a lot more talking. Yes, so think of me as your male Oprah who is shorter and more Asian. And
more handsome.
I shaved today.
Oh, okay. I thought I saw some stuff.
No worries. Alright, so we're going to be touching on a particularly, dare I say, sensitive topic, I guess.
Is it?
It's about airbrushing.
Why is it sensitive?
Alright, because, there's this perception that if you're pro, you airbrush.
Oh.
What do you think?
No, I'm a total noob and I still airbrush.
I see you pro already.
No? Alamak, how can I that?
Right. So in previous episodes and even currently for myself, I prime using
Spray can?
You know, I've been spray canning even back when I was doing Gundam as well.
It's my go-to as well.
It's your go-to as well, right? But I have tried my hand at airbrushing.
Okay.
I do like it. And it's quite obvious. Okay.
What did you work on?
All right, I did not spray this, but this was something I did the other day. Just a prime Jihan's orcs.
Nice.
And it's okay. It covers quite well, but you can see just it's just really
Was this
pretty.
airbrushed or
no?
spray?
That is correct. White.
It looks pretty good though.
Thank you. They call me the primer.
Oh, right. the missing one, the untold one.
Yes. Right. And this is something that Yura did. He used Citadel Air. Okay, now this is something that we don't really dabble in, but he managed to get. And it's cool because it's so smooth and it gets in those crevices. And this is something that the airbrush can definitely do, and it's one of the ways that it is definitely far superior.
Yep.
Right?
In a way, you can control it much better because with a spray can, the moment you press down, you'll just cover everything.
Exactly, and
you cannot rotate it a bit and then go, and you just cover everything already.
True, but at the same time, it's like, okay, this is like an airbrush pen, right? You can't really do that.
Oh, there are some airbrush with caps that you can do.
Okay.
Oh, actually, you don't do that, right? You angle it lower like this so that the paint still goes down.
So there's still a bit of a well. Okay.
Yep,
Cool. All right.
If you do that, then I think there's nothing to brush anymore.
All right. And I think the best part is it's not tiring.
Yep.
This is definitely easier to control as opposed to a spray can, which it takes quite a bit of
bit of force.
You gotta push down.
Well, the advantage is for short term it's not tiring, but for long, if you just keep brushing for long term, then your hands you just get cramps on your.
Have you ever had a cramp?
Almost.
Well, almost.
After priming 10.
Okay, but Brandy once said almost doesn't. So how long have you been airbrushing for?
Let me see. A few months only, actually. I started.
Oh, you're not kidding when you said you were a noob.
Yeah, super noob.
Oh my god.
So far.
I brought in a noob last week. I was supposed to have an expert.
Sorry. So anyway.
No.
So far I've done about 4 or 5 projects using the airbrush. Most of it is just to coat everything with primer and base coating.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like this one's, I coated it in black, in black primer, and then I did a white zenithal prime. So what this means is I basically sprayed the whole thing with black. Oops. And then after that, once it's dry, I sprayed directly from the top with white so that you can see the highlights as if the sun was shining directly down to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was most of my projects actually, using the airbrush.
Okay.
I still go back to the brush.
All right. But okay, that's a very interesting approach to the zenithal, because from what I've read and watched, because hello YouTube people, right? It's like black all over, gray 45, white
top.
directly.
Yeah.
No,
This is the lazy zenithal.
oh, this is the lazy
Yeah.
zenithal.
You skip the gray.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why you decided to skip the gray?
I'm very lazy to wash the airbrush.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So going back to that, this is probably the reason why it's such a turn off.
Oh
Having
yeah.
to clean the airbrush.
Have to wash.
Exactly right. It's like for us, you just like grab one of your brushes, and then after you're done, you wash,
Yep.
and that's it.
Yep.
Right? But it's not nowhere any near as complicated or difficult as
Correct.
cleaning an airbrush.
Yep. Well, there are two main ways you can wash the airbrush actually. One is just a quick rinse.
Okay.
So after your project, you just add in water, pump it out, and then use an airbrush cleaner if you have some, or I use isopropyl alcohol.
Okay.
Pump it in, pump it out.
Like the medical grade stuff.
Not really. It's more like the disinfectant grade.
Kitchen grade. Oh.
First aid.
First aid grade.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah,
Berapa
the
percent?
70%.
70%. Okay,
The stuff you can get in pharmacies. Yeah.
Okay, almost medical grade lah.
Almost lah. Well, technically it is so for first aid, right? Yeah. So that one, the lazy wash or the fast rinse, it's basically, for example, you want to reuse the airbrush fairly quickly. For, let's say, after priming, you want to base coat straight away, or tomorrow you want to use again. So you don't have to go into deep cleaning. So the second type of cleaning you can do is deep clean. Basically, you will take it apart, soak some of the smaller parts in alcohol or cleaner, and then once everything's clean, you clean with a what do you call it?
Scrub it in.
Cotton bud.
Okay.
Yeah, scrub it, whatever. Be careful of the needle as well. Don't stab yourself. And the needle is one of the most sensitive point as well, because you
I've
don't want to
actually
bend it.
had friends drop their
habis
pen,
drop?
and then it's like it doesn't even just like drop there. It's like,
Just like toast. It's always the butter side down.
Why?
So for the
Why
airbrush, it's
does
always
your
the needle
toast
side down.
fall butter side down?
I don't know.
And your airbrush pen.
Maybe
will
our
fall.
viewers can tell us.
If
why.
you know why, let me know.
Yeah. It works the same for airbrushes as well. If you're not careful, it just go whoop.
Right? It's like suddenly.
Well, airbrush I can explain, because the front is heavier. Right.
Okay, I've got this thingy here, which is
Which
like,
makes it even heavier
yeah,
on the
so
front.
Maybe
Yeah.
it might fall like that and then break this first, but
Oh, that would be great. At least the airbrush is safe. But yeah, that's basically cleaning up the airbrush.
okay.
Some people would think it's the first time I thought about cleaning an airbrush, it was quite daunting. Then after 5 YouTube videos, it was actually quite manageable.
Okay. So you had to look for the exact same type model.
Oh, not really. I just search for how to clean your airbrush.
Okay.
And then, because airbrush anatomy is like a human anatomy, everyone has the same parts. Airbrush more or less has the same parts.
Okay.
Regardless, an airbrush anatomy, the most you need to know is, this is called the nozzle. That's where the paint comes out. Inside it, you will see a tiny spot. It differs in size depending on what type of airbrush you get. So there's fine, there's medium, there's I forgot what's the thick grade called.
Okay.
But the finer it is, the more detail you can go.
Yes, correct.
So once you take it apart, it's basically these parts, which is the nozzle, the needle, the trigger. I forgot what it's called, the body or whatever.
The back end.
The back end. This part is the one that holds the needle. You take it out, you can pull the needle out from the back.
Okay.
But it's usually not recommended to do that, because when you pull it out, you might accidentally move your hand and the needle will bend.
What would you recommend doing?
So I'll take apart the front bit. You can see the needle here. So
incredibly small.
Yeah, it's tiny. So there is a tool, like a tiny wrench for you to open this. Once you take it off and put it somewhere safe, you push the needle out from the front. So the needle is safe. When you put it back in first. Yeah.
So obviously I've been doing this wrong.
Well,
but my needles are fine.
so far it's fine, yeah.
Yeah,
if you're careful, it's fine. But I'm quite clumsy, so I don't leave it up to chance. So yeah, that's the anatomy of the airbrush. One major difference is some airbrushes. This is called what do you call it? A dual trigger, dual action.
Dual action.
So what it means is when you press down, I'll show you later with the air on. When you press down, the air comes up. When you pull back, the ink will come up because it's pulling the needle back. Yeah. So the paint will come out as you pull. But most people with an airbrush, they just go full power regardless. Yeah. And this one
but they shouldn't.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
Right? They shouldn't.
You want control, right?
Yeah, especially when it comes to like
when you're priming or basic, it doesn't matter.
Really?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You go, it's fine. It's like flamethrower. But some airbrushes like mine here, there is a specific what do you call it? A control where if you tighten it, you cannot pull it as far back. You see, it goes halfway.
So it's like a limiter.
Yeah. So if you go looser, you can go all the way back. Yeah. So it's like a limiter. Limit your power level.
Yeah, it's like.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
It's very cool.
That makes sense. All right. So, like for somebody who does miniatures, for example, because would you say go and grab the smallest possible airbrush?
I would say no.
Okay.
Because, well, it depends on experience as well. If you're quite experienced, then yes, by all means, because you can control already, right? But for a beginner, I think to learn is better to have a larger area. So priming basing will be a great way. Or if someone does, what do you call it, tanks or military planes, ships. Yeah.
Because otherwise, then you're stuck with this like itty bitty little like nozzle,
exactly,
and this gigantic thing, and you just
imagine you have this big of a ship, and then you're going line by line,
over, and oh my god, what's taking?
And then you overlap, and then you start clunking up.
Okay, even if like airbrush is quite thin already, it gets clunked up
because the paint will dry, right? Once it dries, and then you go over the same area, you will get the same effect as if you brush over the same area twice. Yeah,
that does get annoying.
So, for recommendation's sake, I think people now in the technological age, people should just Google and see what's a good newbie-friendly airbrush. Usually, it's the medium grade though.
I was gonna suggest
like
not too big, not too small.
Exactly.
Okay.
So yeah.
Cool. So all right, the airbrush. Brush. It's not like an airbrush pen, airbrush. What do you call it?
It is a brush.
This is the airbrush itself.
I've seen a lot of people actually paint canvases. They do paintings literally with just an airbrush, and it's amazing. It's as if they did it with a brush, and then the strokes are more intricate. Well, it's literally a brush.
Yeah, it is.
It's just using air. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
So what else would a person like need?
For an airbrush?
Yeah.
Well, obviously, you see me playing with it, right? And then it's not doing anything, right? So normally people will need a compressor like this. So compressors, there are two main types. This one you see here is a very cheapo type.
It's not bad lah. You see?
Yeah, it's not bad. Okay. But the better version would have an extra tank in it.
Okay.
And what that air tank does is when you turn it on, it will not keep running. The compressor will not keep running. So people who don't like the compressor sound will really benefit from it because once the air tank is filled, you have the pressure controlled, the compressor will stop.
I see.
Once it drops below a certain amount, then the compressor will start up, fill up the tank again. But this one, I can show you now, the compressor will run non-stop because there's no tank. And then the compressed air is directly fed into the airbrush.
Okay, so but does that not mean like it's constant?
It's constant, but then you can see from the nozzle here, not the nozzle, I mean the meter here later, the gauge. So that's the sound of compressor. This is what I listen to for half hour to 1 hour when I'm doing airbrushing. Usually put it on the floor so it doesn't make sound. Yeah. Annoying, right?
That's pretty noisy.
Right. It's good for aircon if there's no if your aircon breaks down.
True.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So if you see the gauge here, when I let the air out, it will drop. The air pressure will drop.
Okay.
So that air pressure is not actually controlled that well if it's directly from the compressor. Yeah.
Okay. But like you said, that small. Okay.
Okay, I'll drop it to the ground first.
Like I said, right? You push down slowly and then you pull back just a little bit. So you're going at short bursts anyways. So why the big concern about the tank is gonna run out?
Well, it's not much of a concern. It's more about control, right?
Okay.
So it's much better to have a constant flow rather than leave it up to chance. If you're painting halfway and then your compressor decides to conk out, then the paint will just come out, go, whoa, nice, and then go, okay, foggy.
Or like sputters.
Yeah.
Does that happen? Like,
It does. It does.
Like, okay.
Because sometimes your paint will dry on the needle itself, and then it will just sputter a bit.
Okay.
But that only happens if you like leave it to the side for too long or whatever.
I see.
One technique you can use is use some sort of a flow improver or retarder. That will stop it from stop the paint from drying too fast.
Okay. So if it dries suddenly, like then you have to do all the whole cleaning all again.
Yeah, or maybe just for the tip, just dip a cotton swab in. I see what you did there.
Oh no!
Now this one cannot go on YouTube.
It can, as long as I don't say what.
Yeah, just the tip of the needle, right?
Just the tip.
Of the needle.
Just the tip.
Yep.
Just wet the tip a bit.
All right. Yeah, exactly. Just wet the tip a bit. Just give it a bit of a rub with alcohol.
Oh, okay.
Once it's nice and clean, the good stuff will come out again.
Okay, that's good. It's good to know. Good advice that transcends many other areas as well.
My God.
All right. So, I didn't mention this earlier on, but you are also I don't know what the word is. Are you the manager or are you the owner?
I'm the chief kulikang.
Chief kulikang. Okay, so he is a chief kulikang. You're going to have to find out what the translation for kulikang is.
I think most people will know, right?
Hopefully. I mean, if our viewers happen to be international, kulikang means slave.
Well, yeah.
Ish, right?
Slave-ish. Underpaid, maybe.
Underpaid, overworked. True.
Technically, I'm the owner lah.
Okay, so you are the owner of Kitsu Models.
Yes, I am.
Yes, and Kitsu Models is the sole distributor. So
far we are the only ones that are retailing.
Okay.
Vallejo. Vallejo brand is one of the paint brands that we use for priming, for painting the models and so on.
I see.
There used to be someone who brought in, but then they told me they just clear off all their stocks. So,
okay. How long ago is that?
Oh, a few years back.
Okay. All right.
They cleared out all their stock and never bothered with it again. I was like, okay, then I'm the only one then.
All right. And I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people who are very keen to have the brand back.
Yeah. Some people are quite impressed that we have Vallejo in Brunei. Because
it's something that you would always like hear about. People on YouTube land talk about Vallejo this, Vallejo that, but we're like, what the heck is that?
What is this? Right? Vallejo?
Vallejo. Jangan Noah.
Jalapeno.
No.
But yeah, it's more like a, how would I put it? A nice to have in the back of our minds, you know. When I go to hobby shops in other countries, they always have a few racks there. It's like, wow, that's very nice.
Okay.
But here in Brunei, we have Vallejo, we have Tamiya, and we have
Citadel. Over in Wild Magic.
Yeah.
So, like, okay, you've painted with Citadel.
Yes.
You've painted with Vallejo.
Yep.
Okay, fine. You are, Chief Kulikang for Vallejo now.
Yeah.
Okay, no. Chief Kulikang for Kitsu, who brings in Vallejo.
Vallejo paint,
Does that make you exclusively use Vallejo?
Oh, no. I do mix Vallejo and Citadel as well now.
Okay.
Because there are some paints that I prefer from Citadel. But most of the paints I will use from Vallejo.
I see.
To prove to myself that I can do everything with Vallejo line rather than need to mix it. Yeah, non-stop.
Okay, but like currently, a majority of your use is in priming.
I use the primer. So there is a particular primer for it. It coats on very much differently because when it dries, you can scratch it off. Like typical primers, you can actually scratch it off.
Okay.
Because it's coating the plastic.
Yes.
So that your paints can stick onto it better. It's
not
sticking onto the primer. It's not sticking onto the plastic.
So it's not meant to be another paint on top of
Correct. Yeah. So we have the primer and we have the paints itself. It comes in dropper bottles for people who don't like to pop open the cap. Yeah. So it's much easier to control the amount you use, take it out, and don't have to wash your brush so many times.
I actually got a couple of
awesome. Support local.
Yeah, support local. Ish.
Well, it's international brand.
Yeah, because I ran out of the brass. So I was like, oh, okay. And you were there at the time. On top of like all of this other stuff, if somebody was to say, okay, I want to start airbrushing, right? I have the funds. I have, I've watched all of these videos. What else would a person need?
You have the funds, you watch the videos already, then it's time to go out and buy your own kit, right?
Okay. I mean, so I see a lot of stuff here. There's this pot, and then there's this like moisture trap thing. Yep. Are these necessary?
Yes. Moisture trap is actually, usually it will come with your compressor.
Okay, usually.
Yeah, usually.
But if it doesn't, we'll get one.
If it doesn't, better get one. But the good ones, usually it will come with a moisture trap.
Okay.
What it does is, it will remove additional moisture going into your paint.
Okay.
So you're not diluting your paint further than you want it to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or maybe end up with like specks of water.
No, there won't be specks of water, but sometimes you'll make your paint too runny. Yeah.
Okay.
So what I can suggest for everyone who wants to get started with airbrush is do your research. Some people like single action, some people like double action. And then I think you should just go for a good beginner one because you're going to invest anyway. If you invest in a cheapo, I borrowed a cheapo one from a friend and it's still okay for learning. You don't get as worried from the needle.
True, actually. Yeah, this one is from Wild Magic. They recently hooked up a super
and
wild,
magical.
Very magical.
Yeah.
Thank you, boss. So like people can actually come down here and if you guys need help or you want to try it out, why not, right? Just don't
exactly.
drop stuff like if you drop and break, then
drop us a message, come drop by. I think the guys here will be happy to help.
Yeah.
Especially him. You have to pre-book him 2 months in advance.
No lah, maybe not 2 months lah. 1 week is fine.
Damn.
Awesome. All right, so how can people find you?
Well, they can follow our IG. It's kitsumodels.com. Kitsumodels.com is the website.
Okay.
Then the IG is literally just that. KITSUMODLS.
Okay. And you guys do deliveries?
Oh yes, we do meeting points now.
Okay.
Yeah.
MPSS!
Yeah, MPSS. But we are looking to expand into a physical location.
I see. Oh, this is exciting!
Yes.
Physical location.
Exactly. With like a community area where people can hang out and paint and play.
Oh, cool. Please invite me over.
Definitely. For the soft opening, the hard opening.
Alright, so that's it from us over here at Wild Magic.
Yeah.
I hope today's episode has been
fruitful,
entertaining, fruitful, as well as helped you decide whether an airbrush is for you or not. And it doesn't matter if you don't end up getting one. There are people who don't, right? And if you do,
just borrow from your friend.
Come down to Wild Magic.
Borrow from your friend. That's the best way.
True.
Just don't damage it. Otherwise, you have to pay back anyway.
Yeah.
And it doesn't belong to you.
True. Exactly. You pay for what you break.
All
right. So that's it. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Say bye.
Bye.